Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my channel. Drapsnat. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my channel. Drapsnat. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my channel. Drapsnat. Welcome to my channel.
Hey, welcome to my channel. We're gonna start in a little bit.
Welcome to my channel. Drapsnat. Welcome to my channel.
Hey, welcome to my channel. Hey there, welcome to the channel. I hope you're in a spooky mood. Because we're playing Tiny Bunny. Let's begin. The wind clawed at my window all night long. It wandered the fields and howled like a hungry beast. An endless song waved from all sorts of voices, shrilled gently, near. Twinted the wind. They were shouting and laughing and arguing about something. Someone was running through the snow while casting a long shadow would occasionally creep close to my bed. Our house had a mind of its own, the creaky old mind of a building that had seen a lot of it in its days and was seemingly trying to share its wisdom with the inhabitants. The lonely house faced the forest, and the dark green thicket gazed back with its hollow eyes, rustling, wheezing, swaying, and forth. One could say, come out and stand at the edge of the forest to reassure themselves. There was nobody behind the crooked trees. Fuzzy, slanted, swaying in the wind, couldn't possibly do any harm. It's just a play of light and shadow. Just a play. I knew it was just my imagination. I was already 12 after all. Still. Hey, put away your book. How many times have I told you not to read at the table? It's bad for your health. Look at how slouched you are. I didn't protect and put the book about Cullen and Berbers aside. I was stuck on a line I couldn't understand after reading it 3 times anyway. Oya had already finished her breakfast and was munching on some cookies. She was so enthusiastic. She almost looks like your typical girl from commercials. You're not going anywhere until you finish all of it. I am, on the other hand, was still trying to drill a hole in the plate with my eyes, as if it would make the porridge disappear. hazy. Exertion welled up inside, all because of the sleepiest night, the black forest around our house, and the gloomy wind. The longer I waited, the colder and lumpy white substance became. It looked like a jellyfish with a puncture obsess. I loved that show. I wonder how horrifying the bottom of the ocean is, or how cold the black forest is at night. The spoon fell out of my hand. Mom showered me with cold glare from her green eyes. What did I just say? I'll get it. I had 10 seconds to catch my breath before bottling the nasty porridge once again. Felt around for the spoon. What is this? Covered on the other side of the table. Carved on the other side of the table. Kairana. Huh. That's my mom's name. I guess she carved it out with something pointy when she was little. She sure was a rascal, damaging the furniture like that. She would scold me for a week if I did something similar, though. Should I remind her about it? No. She's been in a bit of a bad mood lately. I imagined her being my age, sitting under this table. I wonder, was Mom afraid of the dark back then? Or the sound coming from the attic? Or the thick forest? I imagine my grandma coming into my little mom's room, sitting at the edge of her bed where, oh yeah, sleeps nowadays, and saying this in her soft, smooth voice. Tegia, it's a special place, little girl. It watches you closely, sniffing you out, trying to discern what kind of beast you are. If you're a little short, it won't abandon you in time of trouble. But if you're a bad apple, you'll grab you by the side and drag you under the ground. And that would be it. Grandma was caring. She never fought with anybody, never yelled, never swore. Those were the times without the modern screens until late at night, without smash the dishes and mutual acquaintance. Our parents used to love each other back then. I remember listening in one of their conversation by chance. They were talking about Grandma getting prepared for her final funeral I know what I'm talking about. By the way, people, I have dyslexia, so I'm gonna mess up on some of these words. Bear with me. She had already bought a casket, and she called it her cute funeral box. It waited for its time in the closet, penitently. It was black, unholstered with meat, colored metals on the inside. I saw it when my grandma was getting buried. The house didn't change since the time she was alive. Only all of the photos were gone. Glass-covered pictures with gray faces of my ancestors. They all had a dead but watchful look in their eyes. I crawled out from under the table. Alia was done with her cookies and was looking at my share like a sly woodland creature. I turned my gaze toward the frosted window. There were a lot of dark pines outside, but they didn't grab my attention. The pattern of the frost formed a picture on my glasses. Oh yeah, look, it's a box. Where? It looked almost like those optical illusions things they put on the back of the students' notebooks. A mixture of lines at first glance, but if you blur your vision a little bit and look under a certain angle, not outside on the window. Look here, the nose and ears. Hey, eat up! Yes, just a moment. I don't see anything. Hurry up! There's not much left. There it is. But it still doesn't look like one. And I'm telling you, it does. Yeah. It does. Stop it. These kids, I swear. Now I couldn't see the fox either. It disappeared. Went away. Only the frost patterns, similar to the stretched out nestly leaves, kept creeping up the glass. My dad entered the kitchen with long, measured steps. I want to have a beard like his when I grow up. Mom would always ask, jokingly, "Come on, shave it off. It stings. It stings." This was so long ago. Nowadays, rumbling doors and witty comebacks were in everyday occasions. Alia always covered her ears. Whenever she hears something like, "What's the point in all this?" through the walls. "It's all for your sake," Dad would reply. "For the sake of our family." I always caught every sound in fear of hearing the most dreaded and deadliest word that started with a D. Devo. I don't even want to finish it. It was scary to imagine that me and my little sister would be torn apart and taken into two different families. Anyway, your fox is nothing. I have an owl on my...
Anyway, your fox is nothing. I have an owl in my window.
You and your owl talk again?
You said you believed me just yesterday.
Has anybody seen my car keys? I remember leaving them on the window sill. Right. Maybe you did, and maybe not. You're a grown man, a father of two, and still... Karina, please stop. Just let me get ready in peace. Your keys are in the basket near the bone. Oh, thank you very much. Anton, stop making a mutiny out of yourself and finish eating already.
And the owl?
There was no owl.
But there was one. It had giant glowing eyes.
Oh yes, sprung up from the chair and placed her hand on her little face, imitating a pair of eyes with her fingers the size of an apple each. Last year you had... Baba
Spaffa,
in your closet,
welcome to my
and
channel.
now the owl.
But I saw it.
Welcome to the channel. Oh yes, shifted her gaze back and forth from Dad to Mom to me, but couldn't find any support. Have you thought about befriending it? You know, like feeding it with imaginary mice. Don't bully her again. She's just afraid to sleep alone because she's still little. Leah did her lips in a rebellion and rushed into the hallway. The staircase that led to the second floor creaked. Mom gave Dad a strict look. Oh, that look in her eyes? It's so uncomfortable to be pinned under it. Dad just snorted and replied and left, ringing with the keys he just found. A minute had passed, and the theme song from The Little Mermaid echoes through the house. It was stored on incredibly worn out cassette tape. which Dad already had to glue together once. It's so easy to fix objects by gluing them back together, for example. But how do you fix a relationship? Mom moved to the living room, and I was left alone, slowly stealing glances at the window. Oya had trouble sleeping ever since we moved to this house. She would toss and turn or curl up into a ball under her blankets. Sometimes she would jump up in the middle of the night and turn on the VCR. Cartoons helped her to take her mind off all the troubles we had with the move and our parents. And then Oya said she saw that giant flying monster outside her window. She became obsessed with it. Our parents did everything in their power. They tried every little trick to get rid of those ridiculous fears. Oya refused to sleep alone and didn't believe that the owl was just one of her nightmares. After tonight, I was unsure what to make of my sister's words, what to think of it myself. Can nightmares be fictions? Just last night I couldn't get a wink of sleep and ended up thinking of what to expect in my new school. I got a job. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for following. Thanks for following. Thanks for following. I got a jar of dirt. 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 Thanks for following. Just last night, I couldn't get a wink of sleep and ended up thinking of what to expect in my new school. There were a couple of days left before the beginning of a new term. My imagination drew long, twisting hallways that led to a classroom full of kids. But all the students behind their desks were simply dark figures cut out of using a template. Circular holes gaped in the middle of their face, and pairs of eyes blinked inside those holes. It was as if some completely different creatures were looking at me from behind the flat, black silhouettes. Their cruel glares, filled with icy smears, made me shiver from head to toe. Will I survive here? Won't they gang up on me and the beasts beat me down? Stomp on me with their bloodied shoes? The damn school can burn for all I care. I just wished for anything to happen to it. Doesn't really matter what. I don't want to go there that badly. I don't want to see people who are just itching to smack me on the head, trip me up, think of a new offensive name for me, worse than the previous one. I felt like the glasses I wore made me an outsider or some sort of a monster. My gaze slid across the drawings hanging on the walls. I couldn't consider myself a great artist, but Olivia begged me to hang them up. Drawing was the only thing that made me happy as of late. The small circles of friends I had also enjoyed my painting, and they promised to call me from time to time. Sometimes I imagine Mom picking up the phone and saying in a cold voice, "You got the wrong number," or "Anton is not around. Anton is not around." I imagine my future classmates lying in their beds, just like me, listening to the owls. Holes of invisible werewolves outside their window. Maybe my new classmates will like me after all. But who would ever like a boy with thick glasses? I mean, my dad used to wear glasses when he was little. And now he's married to the most beautiful woman on the planet, my mom. The house creaked, pressed by the wind. The condo we used to live in, a 9-floor concrete building, buzzed with the neighbor's drill, mumbled with a TV set from behind the wall, cries like a baby from the big family next door. Our current house, though I can't really call it new, was completely different. It was silent and easy going during the day. Its shadows lay dormant in the corners, on the closet cobwebs, and under the stairs. But they all woke up during the night. Something was watching me from every corner, almost as if the old photos of my distant family, with their ashen eyes, were hanging on the walls in place of my drawings. The floor was squeaking, rusty drains were moaning. The attic was by noisy drafts. One could think the house was performing some sort of dramatic melody. And then I realized I was, in fact, hearing music. It was already playing for a good while. Somewhere at the edge of my perception, I could hear a flute. It was mixed in with the sound of the wind, of the creaking old house, and my thoughts too. I stood up and rushed to the window. I wanted to reassure myself that this music was nothing more than a product of my imagination. It's not like someone is playing it there. It's a cold, snowy night, right? Someone was dancing in the field. Black silhouettes I could barely make out, with the dark forest as their backdrop. They jumped around, basked in the moonlight, bumped into piles of snow, rolled around and crawled on all fours. Stories about wolves playing under the moon came to mind, but these were clearly not wolves. They stood upright at times, circled around holding hands and whipping up snow, disappearing into the shadows for a brief moment and then coming back. Something bizarre was going on. Shadows danced in the starless abyss, made my imagination go wild, making me at the same time. Suddenly the music stopped. The dancing shadows rose in place. And I swear pierced me with their eyes. One of the silhouettes immediately parted from the bizarre shadows. Congeal and spirited across the field with giant leap. They glided on squeaky snow without leaving any prints until it was devoured by the pitch black shadow of my house, which became even darker and thicker. My heart jumped around like the bird inside a cage. I shut the curtains with a swift motion and stepped back towards the bed. They saw me. A freezing torrent of fear washed over me. I stood in the middle of the perfectly dark room and listened to some unwanted quest move. I moved and scraped around looking for an entrance. The sound moved to the right, then circled around the house. Now my guess should be at the front door. I jumped into bed and covered myself with the blanket as if it could protect me. The shakiness of fear locked my muscles. I remembered the funeral. My grandma lying there, hands crossed on her chest, her facial features sharp like that of a thin doll. Ants running up and down the legs of chairs that held my grandma's casket. I imagined those little creatures climbing up her head and pulling up her eyelids with their tiny legs. Then her wrinkly eyeballs would once again move inside their sockets, and she'd be able to see her grandchildren. I was chatting the spell she taught me throughout the whole procedure, and now lying under the blanket and listening to squeaks in howls, I was repeating the same words. On the island of Baya, underneath the blemished sun, in the sea of cold-colored blue, stands a cabin made of wood. They lay lowered in ashen hair, for the spawn from devils lay to the feast alone, always leave alone God's faithful servant's name. Anton. Evil leave this house must. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Our sounds has disappeared. I cautiously peeked out from under the blanket and saw curtains weaving around like a hungry man, and then the night doused me with a new portent of boiling terror. The sound scratched at my eardrums. In reality, something or someone were scratching at the front door, hardly crawling at the wood, hardly clawing at the wood, demanding to be let in. The door was shut. Dad had become very cautious recently, so he installed a sturdy lock. I remember him staring at the forest intensely, as if he was looking for someone. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. I hugged my knees, eased my chin between them, and drilled the door with my eyes. It was so and weak before the might of darkness.
Welcome to my channel.
And then the doorknob twitched slightly, and it turned halfway, once, twice, as if the person who tried to enter had no hands. The doorknob tilted once more and then started clicking violently. My jaw cramped from fear. My wet fingers clutched the blanket. The door creaked and opened. The wind taunted me, moaning inside the tiny drain. Now you'll see. The door was wide open. A darkness wrapped inside the concrete moth of the doorway. Tony. It was as if the night itself was calling out to me, flapping its black wings and squeaking with rusty hinges. Was trembling, smeared by the web of darkness that hung in the corners of my room, waiting for the one who weaved it to come out of the gasping black hole. Tony. My abdomen tightened. My chest rose up to exhale a desperate scream. But before I was able to do anything, the darkness asked me,
Tony, you asleep?
My sister's pale face protruded from the thick shadows. I almost screamed from relief. Olia, I'm not sleeping. Did something happen? Olia frowned and stuck out her lower lip, a clear sign that she was about to cry.
It's there again, staring at me. Show her away. Show her away, Tommy, please. I'm so scared.
The fear that was tormenting me just a moment ago crawled away and had somewhere in my stomach. I needed to calm Olia down. It was just a dream, silly. Don't be scared. Dreams don't bite. No one's going to hurt you. Olia sobbed. She was trying her best to believe me. But was I sure myself? I have an idea. Let's go to your room and watch the video. Sleeping Beauty, for example. You like that cartoon, don't you?
Why does the Sleeping Beauty have the prince? And I have this scary bird.
The question took me by surprise. Alright, let's watch Cinderella. My thoughts became tangled, fuzzy. What was that? What's... Studied me with the eyes while dancing feverishly under the moon. The darkness was clinging to the window, and it couldn't be fooled by Grandma's old chats. Couldn't be satisfied with a feast of lords in long hair.
Tony, you coming?
Yes, just a moment. And I died. That's why I didn't want to laugh at Oya and her owl in the morning. Who could be visiting us here in the middle of nowhere? We don't know anyone around here. So persistent. I felt extremely unsettled just from a silly thought that our morning guest would come from the woods. I could barely hear voices coming from the front door. My mind was urging me to hide. In the closet? Under the table? Behind the curtain where Olia always hides? Tony, come here! I felt like... Pardon me. Kettlebells were tied around my feet. Cannonballs were tied around my feet, but still dragged them towards the hallway. A couple of policemen towered over me in the doorway. They smiled like frost and worry. Mom always winced and grumbled the moment she saw patrol cars. Worse than bandits. At the moment, though, she looked somewhat confused. Hello? The senior officer, who wore a grim expression, nodded. A boy had gone missing yesterday. His name was Volva. Vol? Look at this, please. Have you seen him? The policeman held out a photograph to me. There was a ginger boy around the age of elementary school picture with a well-kept as the background. Maybe a carpet. He had a striped cat in his hands and wore a wide smile. No, I haven't. Are you sure? Look closely. Where would I have seen him? I don't know anyone around here. I barely leave the house. Well, maybe you've seen him from The window. That's right. That's right. Your window looks straight at the forest. Don't they? The window? No, I haven't seen anything. I see. He sounded tired, but his eyes... His stare, long and heavy, was full of suspicion. I squirmed unwillingly under the weight of the guilt which his giant shadow cast over me. The policeman finally tore his eyes from me and glanced over the hallway, the stairway, and the cracks in the ceiling, which I hadn't noticed before for some reason. How do you like your new place, by the way? Getting used to it? Barbara, lore of neutral spirits used by the parents to their ill-behaving children. That was not my plan. I don't know that. Getting used to it? Bit by bit. It's just bit by bit. It's just our little daughters misses the city a lot. Misses the city, huh? Have the locals been treating you well? Yes, everything is alright. Thank you. Don't know why I gave her a rush. The policeman pierced through me one more time with his gray eyes. My head started spinning. Can I help you somehow? I asked that in a shaky voice to look like a light boy and to end this unpleasant conversation sooner. Now that I think about it, you look just like one of my nephews, little fella. He's a witty boy around your age. Wears the same type of goggles. Always engrossed in reading those mystery novels. Told me he wanted to enroll in police school when his family visits this summer. Wanted to help other people just like me, see? I felt uncomfortable, as if a distant relative and not a police officer stood before me. Distant relative and not a police officer in front of me. You know what? Little boys like you should stay at home. Steer away from the trouble. The time have changed so much. Mom interjects in the cold voice. You don't say. Oh, well then. What grade are you in? Tony boy? 6. Have you made any friends here so far? Not yet. I'll be going to school for the first time after the break. Then I'll leave you my number just in case. Call me if you have any new info. Yeah, I'm gonna freaking pull something out of my butt. Oh, by the way, there's dancing creatures outside my window. You want me to tell you that info? The policemen were gone, along with their shadows, the smell of cheap cologne, and the photo of a smiling boy. His face still stood before my eyes. I wonder what it was like for him, being all alone there. For some reason, I thought of the forest swaying in the wind. What did his poor parents feel? And what would my parents do if I'd gone missing? Would they cry and rust around Brethren hysterically? Didn't realize it. Go. Or would they accuse each other like they always do and forget about me eventually? Mom, this Volva. Did he go missing in our forest? Seems like it, poor child. I looked out the window at the road. The police UAZ drove off toward the village. Police car? The officer's nephew came to mind when I was flicking off old paints from the windowsill. I remember all the teenagers in the Kitty series I've read this summer. Your average boy and girls investigated all sorts of mysteries there. They looked for clues, spied on suspicious people. And after a set of amazing adventure, bam, solved any hated case. They became local celebrities and must have made their parents very proud. I noticed a trail of policemen's footprints that led to the forest. And then it clicked in my head. Why didn't I start an investigation of my own? Maybe I'll find that lost boy. I'll get a reward. Olivia will be so happy. And not only Olivia, Mom and Dad too. Maybe they'll even forget about their quarrels for a while. Maybe I'll even save us from the D word. I fantasize about buying Olivia a Tamagotchi and getting a cassette player and a bunch of tapes for myself, and while box of Pandora Surprise. When was the last time our parents bought us any toys? Last autumn? I think. My dad had lost his job at the time. That's there's that annoying song about. I had a little too no idea what was the accountant's job like. They count money, I think? Neighbors used to envy us. But no, nowadays mom and dad barely had money to afford sweets, and dad would always divide a single chocolate bar between me and Olia. Sometimes I gave her my share too. No matter how much I wanted to eat sweets, she was still just a pipsqueak. I couldn't wait to go out looking for clues. I'm going outside. Yeah, right. You wanted the police to go around with your photograph next? The forest is so thick. What if the boy got snatched up by wild animals, or something even worse? Even worse? I go through the hallway. I won't go far. I'll stay away from the forest. Did you hear what I said? Or should I repeat myself? Better go pack your school bag or play with Olia. The sound of splashing water came from the kitchen. It meant that the argument was over and Mom had the last word. A dark, stuffed closet. Mom says it smells like mice, but how would she know their smell? She hates when I stick my nose in there. She's afraid I'll cut myself on the freshly sharpened axe, and Olivia can't even be lured close to it. She thinks Babia is living there. Baba Yaga? I tried to help her fight her fears once. I opened the door and turned on the dim lamp, so she would see there was nothing but
Welcome to my channel.
cobwebs, dad's tools, and scratch walls. Welcome to the channel. She still doesn't believe me. I like to hide in the closet and listen to Olia count outside. 1, 2, 3. Better hide from me. And then drag her feet on the creaking floorboards, hoping that she wouldn't need to look for me in the cramped monster's den. I took a peek at Mom's crossword. She would get very angry when someone gave her advice, so me and Dad fake knowing the answers and being about to reveal it all the time. I smiled at the fleeting thought. Visual 9 letters. The name of Palestine. I don't know. Indeed, that protects them from Viper Bites and had a nickname, the Lord of the Flies. Second letter is E. Grandma kept ice cream for me and Olivia there, but now I could only see meat bits for soup and lumped together. I mean, I grew to hate them already. Anton? I'll whip you if you make a single step outside the door. The decrepit and stain-covered calendar was once more my favorite form of entertainment in Grandma's house. I remember waking up and running to the kitchen so I could tear off yesterday's leaf first thing in the morning, as if the coming day would get lost in the forest without my help. 1 year closer to New Year's. 1 day closer to New Year's. 1 day closer to Grandma's funeral. I haven't touched this calendar for years now. Since the time they started writing back dark and spooky death chants that only made me gloomy instead of funny proverbs and positions, to be exact. I grabbed the dusty calendar leaf with a caution and it tore off fortunately. Sadly, the spooky descriptions from my childhood were still there. 7 horses carried the log. If 7 can't carry, bring the 8th from a fairy. They will take it away and never come back. This is the fate that log cannot escape. I crumbled the gray leaf and threw it into the waste bin, hoping to get rid of the actions that washed over me. It was spreading inside me like an ink stain on bloating paper. Russia had declared that state of emergency due to the diverse weather conditions. According to the weather forecast, a cyclone is moving toward the region. Expect heavy snowfall, blizzards, and snow drifts on the road. Keep your eyes open and take care of yourself. It was difficult to lie to Mom, but there was no other way for me to run away from home. Mom, something's wrong with the TV. The picture is dim and there's our strips of all over the screen. Mom's face became visibly distorted. And you're killing me here. You're killing me here. So have you had enough of shooting those stupid ducks now? Told you the kinescope will go down dim because of your soul. Where will we find a TV technician in this hole, huh? Maybe it's just the settings? Please go see for yourself. Strange, it worked fine in the morning. Maybe the snowfall caused it? Mom grabbed her hands, putting on her apron. Mom rubbed her hands clean on her apron and went to Olivia's room. See you, Mom. My parents prohibited me from making long-distance calls, but from time to time I really want to hear my old friends. Sometimes I would just pick up the phone, listening to the low hum of the Zoomer and the distant crashing imaging the wind howling in the ice beating courts. See ya, Mom! I opened the front gate and went into the field. Birds. Carefully, so Mom wouldn't see me from the window. When I crossed half of the distance toward the forest, the snow piles became as high as my knees. I remember my nightly fear. I saw those silhouettes around here. They were jumping around, holding hands. The hypnotizing music started playing in my head on its own. In the light of day, those distant figures felt like a simple dream. The sun turned my nightmares to ash, but the aftertaste was still there, distant, ringing in my ears. Distorted shadows crawled on the snow alongside me, and a barely audible whisper in my head, blurry and almost kind. Everything was silent. Though silent, I felt like the world was totally empty. No ground, no sky, no parents, no Alia. The time reached its limit. A one-way trip that ended at the forest stockage. Sometimes silent was much scarier than any screams. Our parents would scream at each other while arguing, and both me and Olia turned to stone listening to them. But then always came the ringing silence. Out of apartment became numb a couple of days before we departed. It was hard to remember the last time Mom and Dad joked around, laughing at or spent time together. Almost like all of it was in a previous life. When they kissed with Olivia's presence, she always frowned and snorted in a funny way. But one day it all changed. Something important had left our home, and something scary filled the remaining void. It was as if the fire broke up, and our parents were packing our belongings, trying to save themselves and us. From who, though? From the people with dead cold eyes, who sometimes visits us in our previous home? The eyes that only saw balls of worms on the black ground and everything. And somewhere far away, a siren was going off, trying to warn us of the coming manic. ... I shuddered, chasing away my delusions, and looked around. There was only me. This whole field and the wind that was whipping up icy dust and belt of powdered snow. I squinted from the sun and turned my eyes to the sunless forest. It looked especially dark and contrast with a blinding whiteness. Snowy tree roots slithered under the snow like fat snakes. Rotten leaves and those froze into the ice. Dry prickly branches intertwined, bringing up uncomfortable thoughts about fences. Were they protecting the forest, or were they keeping something from breaking out? Some object was hanging from one of the pointy branches. I tried to get closer, drowning in snow, and when I almost got to the edge of the forest, I saw a knitted mitten. It looked like it's in dark. Should I take it to the police? The senior officer looked gloomy, but he still reminded me of Captain Keshuva from my favorite TV. show called The Streets of Broken Lights. He was also always exhaustion, with a tired look in his eyes, but still brave and strong. Will this mitten help them find the lost boy? Voba! Voba! Heard a distant shout, looked like it came from the river. Voba! As if the trees were calling out someone. Voba! Resounded closer to me. Someone was standing there, behind the trees, hiding. Voba! I knew someone was looking for the lost boy, but still, something was unsettling about that figure. Its stillness, how it was bent unintentionally towards the ground. Its blackness. There is no one there, just branches and roots. It's all just my imagination? The nearby birds flapped their wings loudly. A shadow slid from the tree and disappeared from my sight. I looked away for just a moment, but then I turned my gaze back to the same place. It's gone. So it was my imagination after all. Silence ignited for a painful long turn. My muscles were tightly strung. My heart was beating somewhere in my chest. Any noise, any little movement, any small whispers from the thicket, and I'd sprint. But nothing of the sort happened. I looked at the mitten once more. Wonder if I can take it. Should I take it? I'm gonna take it. See if I live. I decided to take the lonely mitten from the branch. Nope, I changed my mind, I'm out. A sound rumbled across the field and dissolved into the distance. No echo, no hope for a reply. I'm gonna die! I'm gonna die! I stepped towards the bristled tree and tried to claim my find. It didn't budge. I pulled harder. The branch cracked and the mitten tore off, landing in my hand with a squishy sound. All too heavy, wet. I squeezed it without thinking, and something dark spilled from it, forming a tiny stream between the mitten and the snow. Steam rose from the snow pile. Run! I froze in place, setting my palm in disgust. Red. The sound of cracking branches invaded my silence. And then I died. I didn't have to think twice before running away. Someone was chasing me from the darkness, breaking pine branches, closing the distance with a giant leap. Snow was slowing me down. Crazy thoughts flew through my mind. I'll get caught. They'll get me. I'll get dragged into the thicket. I'll be gone forever. But there was one more voice. Probably one of the reasons it gave me strength. Swirled me out on. You can do it. Don't stop. I heard an animal roaring behind me. It was so loud my ears went numb. It felt like the sound that came from the pack of hungry beasts rather than a single one. Their nostrils sucked in freezing air. They sensed my fear. Two giant wings lapped above my head. An enormous shadow flew over the clearing. A hoot, a wheeze. The roars were coming from all directions now. From the dreaded up raspberry bush, from twisted pines, from under the windfall. Hurry, run! Don't look back! It felt like I was inside a nightmare. The snowed clear became in-pierced like wicking sand, and I was stuck in place. I pulled my legs from the mushy crap just to be caught in a new one, even deeper than before. I continued to drown, sinking deeper and deeper with every spurt push. Was snow ever this thick? I screamed in horror after realizing this wasn't snow. Someone or something in the snow pile was clutching my pants. I gathered all my strength and rushed forward. The pressure on my legs was gone. My boots slipped out of the hole, and my soles were on the hard surface again. I reached a clear path with one jump and there ran to my house. It's gloomy. Her cave didn't look threatening now. That house was my line of defense from the shadows that lapped their wings and the creatures that were hidden under the snow. I tripped over the doorstep and smashed into the door. In all my hurry, I still noticed the claw marks, as if a dog was striking the wood with its paws, demanding to be let in so I could escape the cold. I hadn't noticed this marks when I was leaving. The The heartbeat in my ears was much louder than my surroundings. I couldn't hear whether someone was following me or not. What if they were already in our front yard and Mom had locked the door? Drowning in fear, I pulled on the doorknob and it gave way. I rolled into the hallway and shut the door behind me. Porch planks creaked as my pressure ascended the stairs. Run, boy, run!
Arklko. Welcome to my channel.
Welcome to the channel! My fingers slipped off the lock, and I couldn't flick it into place. I gritted my teeth and pulled hard on the iron knob, whipping it between the wards. Stared blankly at the door. Someone was standing on the other side of the pitiful, flimsy barrier that was probably less useful than blankets. Wheezing, breathing, reaching.
Zeking. Welcome to my channel.
Wheezing, breathing, reached into the house and crashed at me in waves. Oh, God. It smelled of pine and sweat. Mom peeked out of the kitchen and chastised me. The same frigid voice she always used when talking to Dad. What exactly didn't you understand when I told you to never slam the door? I didn't mean to. I snuck a glance at the door. The smell was gone, and the breath was too. If there was someone in the first place, of course. If there was someone in the first place. Here. Mere 5 meters away from Mom, my fear was slowly weakening, melting little snow and springing, and with it the last bit of strength I had left my body too. My legs gave way. I propped myself up against the wall so I wouldn't fall over. Mom's expression had changed immediately. The cold mask of strictness and detachment was gone. Mom looked the same as before, although those world. She finally saw my condition, my wet hands plastered with snow. Where have you been? What did I tell you, huh? I told you to stay home. Am I nothing to you, too? I got afraid she would cry. I reached out to her like when I was very little and wanted her to cuddle me. But Mom regained her composure first and put her on her usual face. Her eyes shined like steel, her voice screamed out, "Your dad can't find his cigarettes. Be honest, did you snatch them? Were you smoking in secret?" There was someone chasing me. I thought. I shuddered as soon as I started explaining myself. Tears welled up in my eyes. Mom leaned towards me and sniffed my clothes like a beast searching for the smell of tobacco. Then she squinted her eyes in suspicion and looked into the front yard. Her expression changed in an instant, and she covered her mouth with her hand. "Look over there! The fence!" My heart started thumping, as if it became prey once again, and my pursuers were following me in the field. I could swear that I've heard something scratching at the door, just like in my nightmare. Mom beckoned me with her fingers, and I gathered all my remaining bravery to look into the kitchen windows facing my fear. I could barely discern some hairy silhouettes swimming in snow through the icy winter patterns on the glass. Dogs? Just a small pack of strays with no name and owner, barely reminding of the hungry monsters that live on the edge of the forest. Oh boy, were you scared of them? I think they'd rather be scared of you. One. They were chasing me like a bunny. And what if they're rabid? A smile had slowly disappeared from Mom's face. Now she looked at the dogs as if it was her first time seeing them. What if they attacked Oli? What if they attack Ola? Mom, I wish your dad could just shoot them all. Mom, look, they're alive. Huh? What? Are they your friends or foes? After all, make up your mind. You're not a little kid anymore. Mom sighed in annoyance, and I felt so bitter that I bit my lower lip and fixed my gaze on the cobwebs-ridden corner. Well, some detective I am. In reality, I wasn't risking my life among monsters, but rather my pets among a pack of stupid strays. What for? What use do I have for this? Mitten. Of course. A dark and sticky mitten that hung to the lost boy made a squishy sound in my hand. Seems like I was clutching it the whole time. That's my trump card as a detective. I hurried to present this clue to my mom. Mom looked at this. Mom, look, this is Bella's mitten. The boy that the police were asking about in the morning. It drenched in blood. I found it hanging on the tree. I can show where. Let's call the police right away, like the officer had told us to. Mom looked. Ew. The shadow of doubt slowly crept onto Mom's distorted face, as if she was trying to remember something distant, like someone tries to remember their dreams, but the image slips away. Stop this nonsense moment. Stop it this moment. Aya will be insane. Insane if she hears you. She already has trouble sleeping and whines all the time. And you joke around like this? At the moment I realized the mitten was actually wet from snow. There was no blood whatsoever. I wanted to sink through the floors from embarrassment. Come here, my boy. Who cried wolf? Oh, don't just stand there. Come take your pills. Oh, now I'm taking pills. The golden-colored pills. Crimsons of dead whisk fall onto my palm. I already took one during breakfast. Don't talk over me. I told you to stay home and you... Dad would have given you a good whipping for that. Come on, take it. Or you won't be able to sleep at night. And you have school tomorrow. So I had to swallow the bitter medication, drink it down with similarly awful water that gave off a taste of chlorine. Maybe it wasn't Bella's mitten. Maybe it wasn't a mitten at all. Just like the forest monsters and Olivia's owl. So am I going mad? Whoa. What's happening to me? Either the pills had an immediate effect, or my overexerted brain didn't let fear inside anymore. Sanity washed over me, bringing yawned indifference along with it. Huh? You done? So you can do it when you try? Take off your coat and... Are you asleep? No, Mom, I was just thinking. What about, I wonder? It's just something silly. Mom's scrutinized me with suspicion's eyes. Okay, after this is done, I'm getting off because I can't read it. My brain is so fried. And this is a good story, too. Too bad it doesn't read itself. As if she wasn't sure she was looking at her own son and not some duplicator that came from the forest. Is everything alright? You'll have to exact some expressions that...
A_OK. Welcome to my channel.
Welcome to the channel. You had to... Same expression when the policeman asked you about the window. I'm alright, Mom. She heaved a deep sigh. Seemed like the house had changed. The sofa's fabric had become colored. Fingerprints appeared on the bathroom tile. The light bulbs also felt different, dimmer and yellower. Even the saliva inside my mouth had a different taste. Melody from Aladdin could be heard from the upper floor. Olivia, what the heck just happened? And the game died. Alright, I'm gonna call it quits there. Because my eyes were starting to get cross-eyed. Sorry about my reading. Like I said, I have dyslexia, so it's not gonna be fantastic reading. But hopefully you enjoyed some of it. And hopefully my audio and everything else came out right this time. I'm sorry about the last game that had no audio. I'll probably play that game again later. I just wanted to see a much scarier story and definitely got what I wanted. So I'm calling it quits now. You guys have a great night. Have a beautiful morning. Stay creative, stay spooky. I'm Mega Anime. And I'll see you next time. Bye.